Okay, go ahead. Summation of this column and summation of this column.
The total of the entering trips 10,119.
Okay.
And the exiting trips 5,018.31.
10,119.
Yeah, and this 5,831.
Okay. Now they should be equal, and the usual scenario is that the trips produced are considered to be more reliable than trips attracted. Okay, so you will adjust trips attracted by using trips produced. Okay, you will adjust trips attracted using trips produced. Okay, so we will take the ratio of trips produced upon trips attracted. How much is that? Give me that ratio.
0.58.
0.58. Okay.
Yes.
Now all trips attracted should be adjusted with this factor. Okay. So let me open it here. 0.58. So all the trips in this column, the entering column, the attracted trips column must be adjusted using this factor. Okay. So for example, zone, and this is trips attracted. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 and so on. It will go on to 14 zones, I think. Okay, so the first one is 250. Okay, so it will be 250 into 0.58. It was 58, right, brother?
Yes, doctor, yes.
Okay, so all these strips should be adjusted using the same factor. Okay, so it was then 300 into 0.58. Okay, then 150, then 840, then 360, don't worry, I will round it off. Okay, later on. Then 440, then 382, forty, and 2510. And
Doctor,
yes, go ahead.
if you want to be more accurate with the results, the factor is better to keep it 0.576.
0.576. Now
Point
you are
five.
telling me.
I'm just checking the results now.
No problem, no problem. I don't want to be accurate.
Okay.
Okay, then the gravity model. Okay, so we will only, obviously they have given us the data only for zone 1, so we will only apply to zone 1. Okay, but that was the first step. The first step was adjust trips attracted. Okay, now so I already have this column now. I already have this column. Okay, and obviously for zone 1 they haven't given me the travel time. Okay, and the k factor. so I cannot calculate the trips from 1 to 1. Okay, I have shared a video link yesterday in which the travel time within the zone and the socioeconomic factor for the same zone was also given. Okay, you can they took a very small example, 3 zones only. Okay, and I'm just following the same steps which they have followed. Okay, so if these values were given, I could have calculated the number of trips from the zone in itself as well. Okay, from zone 1 to 1, I could have done it if I have the K and the travel time. Okay, but I don't have it, so I will just use these numbers and I will just calculate the number of trips from zone 1 to the other zones. Okay, now, so I have these numbers which are adjusted. Okay, the adjusted numbers. Then I have the travel time. Okay, and they have already calculated the the F factor here, so I will directly write down the F factor, okay, which is the inverse of travel time, we know it. Okay, so F factor, and I'm ignoring zone 1 here, so 0 0.2, 0 0.1, 0 0.125, 0 0.167, 0 0.143, 0 0.125, 0 0.2, 0.1, okay, 0.143, 0.056, 0.1, 0.082, 0.067. Okay. So now I can calculate the AFK factor. Okay. So AFK factor. Okay, sorry. Let me write down the K values as well. I need the K values, right? So it is 111, then 2 and 111, 2, 1, then 2 again. How many 2s are here? 1, 2. Okay. Then 4. Okay. Okay. Now I can calculate the AFK factor. Okay. So AFK factor will be A into F into K simply. Okay, and then you take the summation. Again, you can round them off if you want. Okay, then the number of trips produced from a okay, let us take the same methodology which they are doing. Okay, so for each AFK, I will take the ratio with the sum. Okay, for each AFK, I will take the ratio with the sum. Okay, so this is the AFK factor, and I will take the ratio with 1426 here. So this divided by 1426. Okay, so all the AFK factors are which I have calculated, I will take the ratio with the total numbers. Obviously, summation will not change. So for all of them, I am taking the ratio with 1426. Okay. Then each number will be multiplied by the trips produced from zone 1. Trips produced from zone 1. Okay. To calculate Qij, I will multiply with the trips produced from zone 1. Trips produced from zone 1, I'll go to the trip generation stage. Trips produced meaning trips exiting. Trips which are coming out of zone 1, which is, so you can see this 750. 750 trips are coming out of zone 1. Okay. And when I went to the book and tried to see what was the problem, even in the text they have written 750, but for some reason they did not use 750. They were using 1500. Okay, so there was some problem with the calculation in the book. Okay, so each of these numbers from this column, okay, the ratio will be multiplied by 750. Okay, so 750 multiplied by this ratio. Okay, and I will do simply this. Okay, and then rounding off. Okay, so this is how you calculate the number of trips from zone 1 to the other zones. Okay, now if you have travel time and the K factor from, let's say, zone 1 to the other zones, then you can repeat the same calculation. Okay, obviously trips attracted will not change, and trips produced for the last column, you will take the trips exiting zone 2, which is 450. Okay, so p value will be 450, and the trips attracted will be the same which I've used here. Okay, so let us consider this as one example because I cannot complete the OD matrix without the given data. Okay, if it was a small number of zones, I could have assumed the values and we would have done it. But let us say we have completed one example. Okay, let us say we have completed one example, which was to calculate the number of trips from zone 1 to the other zones. Okay, and I hope this is clear. Okay, so I will remove this table from here. Okay, just for my own sake. Later on. Okay, yeah, any question?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
For the values of the attracted trips in the
Yeah.
table that's on the book, the values are different than the values we are calculated.
Yeah, I don't know what they are doing. They are maybe they are not showing a step, or they have some mistake in there, because
Okay.
because 1500 for zone 1 was not true as well. And
Yes.
they are using 1500 again and again. In every table they are mentioning 1500 total for zone 1. It is not even the total number of trips. Even the
Yes.
total number of trips from zone 1 is not 1500, right?
It's
It is
1000. Yeah.
1000. So there is some problem with the book. Okay, so I have decided, let us follow one approach. Okay,
Okay,
so
doctor.
we are deviating from the book for this case. Okay, now for the OD matrix, so you have calculated the first row. You have calculated the first row. Okay, and if you calculate the numbers from, if you apply the same methodology to zone 2, you will calculate the second row, and if you do it for zone 3, you will have the third row, and so on. Okay, so these numbers should be equal to the total number of trips which are produced from zone 1. Okay, but as I said, we cannot make this, or we cannot correct the whole table because we don't have the factors. So we will assume that this OD matrix is for some other zones. Okay, let us say they calculated the OD matrix and they gave me this, for some other zones. These are not the same zones. Let us assume that. Okay, so that we can apply some calculations to this OD matrix as well. Okay, we will try to, you know, just for the sake, so that you can correct the OD matrix as well. Okay, so like I said, you have these numbers, and you can see the rows are balanced. Balance means the data, which should be number of trips produced. This should be number of trips produced. Okay, so whatever zone they are considering, this is the number of trips produced from that zone, which is 1500. Okay, let me go back and check something else which has just come into my mind here, because we are using a factor of, no, for zone 2, again they are using 450. So they did not apply any adjustment to trip productions there. I thought they applied maybe some adjustment to trip productions, but trip productions for the other zones are the same. Okay, so obviously for the first zone it should have been 750. But anyways, so we are just assuming that this OD matrix is correct. We are assuming this OD matrix is correct. Okay, and Badar, you were saying you applied the methodology which I explained yesterday to this matrix, right?
Yes, doctor. I have did 9 iterations and still it doesn't work.
And in the end, you got the factors up to how much?
0.85 till 1.15.
Okay. Anybody else tried it?
Yes, me too.
Yes,
Okay, and what happened?
the factor for the first row, it's still small. It will keep on decreasing.
Decreasing. Okay. So like I said, I saw another methodology yesterday. Okay. And so let us apply, or let us apply that. So they were saying this, the rows are already balanced. the rows are already balanced, so just balance the columns. Okay, so we'll just balance the columns. Okay, so for balancing the columns, they are saying take the ratio of data upon the summation of columns, and then you multiply with that factor. Okay, for each row in the column. Sorry, for each row in the column. So we'll do 500 upon 95. So first of all, give me the factors for, let me make it bigger. Give me the factor for each column from these values. Yeah, 500 upon 95.
5.3.
It's 5.3.
Okay. Second one.
0.7.
5.3. Then 0.7. Okay, keep on doing it.
Then 1.1.
Okay, 1.1.
And 1.2.
1.2.
Then 0.9.
0.9.
And 1.
1. Okay.
1.2.
1. And then 1.2. And then
0.9.
0.9.
And then 1.7.
1.7.
Then 1.1.
1.1.
And then 1.1 again.
1.
Then 1.2.
2.
And 2.1.
2.1.
I think there's something missing.
Yeah, 1 is missing. Which one is missing? Should be 14, right?
The last factor is 3.2, doctor.
Yeah.
So this 2.1 is for zone 13.
Yes.
And then zone 14 is 3.2.
Okay. So they were saying just apply these factors to each column. Okay, and then okay, so
Doctor?
this column needs no adjustment in that case, right?
Doctor, when we apply the factors, we have to apply them on all the columns at the same time? Or do we do the iterations column by column?
No, all the columns at the same time.
Oh. All right.
Okay. So let me make a matrix here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we don't have these numbers. Okay. Let us do column by column. Okay. So 17. Then 9 into 5.3. Then 4 into 5.3. Into 5.3 and 10 into 5.3. Five, 5 into 5. Okay, the second factor is 0.7, so 0.09 into 0.7 into 0.7.
Doctor?
Yes.
When we multiply the factor, we don't take the average between two factors of the column and the row?
Yeah, this is what you guys have tried earlier, right? It didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I saw another approach yesterday in which they were doing it one by one.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So this is what we are doing. Because they said rows are already balanced. All the rows are already balanced. You can see here, all the rows are already balanced. Okay, so they are saying why don't just take the columns and then apply the factors to the column. Okay, and then if the rows are, so you will balance the columns and the rows are not balanced, then you go back to the rows. So it will be in iterations, but for rows and then columns and then for rows, something like this.
Okay.
Which one was I doing? So I did 5, then I 6. So 26 into 0.7, where is it? Then 39 and 41. Five, 18, 8, and so on 3. Zone 4, factor is 1.2.
Doctor, I did the first iteration for the columns. Now all the factors are 1. The column and the data are equal. But
Okay.
I have to do another iteration for the rows.
All for the rows. Yes, yes. Can you share the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So they are exactly 1 now.
Yeah.
That's what should happen. And then you do another iteration for the rows. Okay. So I just wanted to explain you the procedure. Okay. So if you have any questions, okay, these are the values. Okay. After the first iteration, your matrix will look like this. Okay. After the first iteration, and then the next one you will use these factors. Okay, only these factors and multiply with the, obviously if you use them, what will happen? All of them are 1. All of them are 1. Okay, so they will not have any effect. So you use these factors and you multiply with the factors which you see with the rows. Okay, obviously now you cannot share my screen. So you will use these factors which are written with each row, and then you will multiply with the numbers in each row. Okay, and then you will try to balance it. Okay, so this is again assuming that this OD matrix does not belong to those 14 zones for which we were supposed to calculate the data. Okay, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. You can now stop sharing.
You are welcome, Doctor. Doctor, for the second iteration, we use these values for the rows, the F factors, or from the original iteration.
What do you mean?
I mean, now in the first iteration, the factors for the rows have changed. We use these factors to the second iteration.
Yeah, because you see in the first iteration, they must all of them have been 0.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 1. Sorry, not 0.
1.
1. They must have been 1. So obviously you cannot use them then. You multiply with 1, what will you get? Nothing.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you have any questions, any one of you has any questions, they can ask me. Then we can. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next stage. Again, I would say sorry for wasting today's lecture and yesterday's lecture because of this confusion. But I hope in the end we have all learned something. Okay, I have learned something, but I hope you have done as well. Okay, any questions? Any questions? So instead of taking the average of the factors of the row and column, the other approach is, which obviously you guys tried and it didn't work. And so I saw the other approach, which is rows are already balanced. Take the factors for the column and just balance the columns. Okay, and then you will see the changes in the rows as well. Obviously, then you balance the rows. Okay, and hopefully after 2 or 3 iterations, they will all be balanced. Hopefully. Okay. Okay, so if there are no questions, I will move on. Yeah. Okay, so we completed trip generation. Okay, and then we completed trip distribution. Okay, in trip distribution, we were asked to basically make the OD matrix. Okay, so the procedure is take the results from trip generation, make attracted equal to produced by applying the adjustment factors, then calculate the trips from each zone and distribute them. The trips produced from each zone, distribute them according to the gravity model using the AFK factors to other zones. Okay, and then you will have the OD matrix, and then you balance the OD matrix using the iterations which I just showed you. Okay, now the third step is mode choice. Okay, so mode choice is the third step in travel demand forecasting model, the TDM. And in this stage, we are trying to predict the distribution traffic into different modes. So you just know in the, for example, from this, let us say this is a balanced OD matrix. So you know 109 trips are coming from zone 1 to zone 2. Okay, they are coming out of zone 1 and they are going into zone 2. So your total traffic is 109 trips. Now out of 109 trips, which modes they are going to take? Okay, and the different modes are car, bus, bike, taxi, and so on and so forth. Okay, so out of all the available modes, which modes will be taken? Okay, a very simple method. Okay, a very simple method of calculating the mode choice is you calculate the percentage of trips which are taken by other modes. Okay, so you will have the number of vehicles basically, or the number of trips which are taken by car. Okay, so instead of, I will show you just in a minute another method as well, but the most convenient way to do this step is find out the percentage of people which are going by other modes. For example, in Bahrain, you calculate for all Bahrain. Okay, let's say only 10% people use buses. So I will go to this matrix. I will deduct 10% from it. Okay, so 10% of 109 will be around 11. Okay, so the remaining will be what? The remaining, so 11 will be the people who are going by other modes, and the remaining, so 109 minus 11 will be 98, right? 98. So 98 trips by car. Okay, this is the most easiest, this is the easiest method. This is the easiest method to calculate the number of trips taken by car from one zone to the other. Find out the percentage of people who usually go by other modes including bus and walking and bicycles and so on and so forth, and then deduct that percentage from the trips which you have from one zone to the other, and you will have the number of trips by cars. Okay, which is our main aim. But instead of doing this, this is a very simple approach. Okay, this is very simple approach. Okay, just find out the percentage of people using other modes and subtract it, and you will have the car trips. The other approach is you develop your own equations. Okay, we call them mode choice models. These equations are known as mode choice models. Mode choice models are of two types. We have trip end models and trip interchange models. Okay, trip interchange models are more advanced and they are more commonly used. Okay, I will just show you what do we mean by it. Okay, trip end models, we are not going to discuss them. Okay, so we will only discuss trip interchange models. Okay, but obviously just to give you an idea what do we mean by trip end models. So in trip end models, we assume that mode choice depends upon the socio-economic ability of the traveler. So a particular type of traveler will go by a specific mode only. Okay, there is no flexibility in it. There is no flexibility in it. So they are saying the transit riders, people who are using public transport, are captive riders. Captive means what? You don't have any other option. Captive riders are those riders which do not have any other option. Okay. For example, when we were doing our when I was doing my research for King Fahd Causeway, so I found there are people from labor class who travel, to their countries from Bahrain. Okay, and obviously they cannot afford the ticket of an airplane from Saudi Arabia to Bahrain. So their travel across the causeway will only be in a bus. They cannot afford a taxi. They cannot afford the plane as well. So they are captive riders. Okay, they are captive riders. There's no other way for them to travel. Okay, even if they want to, they cannot. Okay, so these trip end models are applied. Okay, so you only these models, what these models will tell you that if you have a traveler of this economic background, socio-economic background, then he can only go by this mode, and that's it. Okay, so trip end models are more they call it deterministic, fixed. Okay, deterministic means something which is fixed. Let me write the word here. Deterministic means something which is fixed. Okay, so trip end models tell you a fixed choice of the traveler. Okay, now where can we apply these trip end models? Trip end models can be applied where car ownership is very frequent, like in Bahrain. Okay, car ownership is very frequent. Almost everybody has a car. So the person who doesn't have the car, then that means he cannot afford one, and then for that person the transit he is a captive rider. Then he is the captive rider. Okay, because then he will only go with other modes. The parking is, parking is plentiful. Okay, this is other. So if you have a car and you have enough parking, then who can stop you from using the car, right? And congestion level is low. Okay, so even if you are using other modes, if you are using, then there is no saving in travel time. Okay, so sometimes you want to go by bus. Okay, but there is no benefit in you, okay, but taking a bus, because the car and the bus almost has the same travel time. So in these conditions, trip end models can work. Okay, where car ownership is plentiful, car ownership is very high, parking is plentiful, congestion levels are low. So using the other mode doesn't have any benefit for you. So whoever has the car will go by the car. Whoever has the car will only go by the car. Okay, so this is all true for Bahrain, right? Car ownership is very frequent. Most of the places I found they have parking. Apart from the fact that if you are going to a festival or something, okay, like National Day festival, only at those times I have found parking problems. Otherwise, I found that alhamdulillah we have enough parking. Okay, you may have to walk more than the others, but we have enough parking, and congestion level is low. So even if you, and most importantly, if you go by the bus, the buses are traveling at their own time. So what happens in other countries, they have a separate lane for buses. Okay, so in some conditions, when you know that there is congestion, this is the peak hour, these are the rush hours, then going by the bus at those times may save your travel time. And this happens with metro in other countries, metro and LRT. Okay, in other countries, and the countries where they have this separate infrastructure for buses and rails, they can save time during the rush hours. So people may go by transit service instead of their cars. But obviously, this is not the case in Bahrain as well. Even if you go by car, it will take less time than bus in any hours. Okay, in any hours of the day. And it can be applied to medium-sized cities, because in big-sized cities then you have more variation. Okay, or in developing countries where public transit is not so good, so it is not the primary choice of the people. So whoever can afford a car or a bike will shift to a car or the bike. Okay, and I'm from Pakistan. I know if any one of you is from out of Bahrain, and they are from a developing country, then they can relate to it. Okay, they can relate to this factor that in those countries, whoever can afford a car or a bike, they will immediately shift to it, not because of the other benefits, but because the public transit system is not good. Okay, but trip and models are easy to apply. Okay, you just have to find out the traveler characteristics. Okay, he's a poor guy, he'll go by transit. He's this guy, you go by this. Okay, And transit trips for trip end models, transit trips means the trips which are taken by public transport. Okay, so they are calculated on the basis of land use intensity, okay, or any other characteristic. So if this is the land use of the area, then you will have this many people traveling by transit. Okay, so again, like I said, this is the simplest approach. So this is more closer to the simplest approach. Okay, but instead of just taking a ratio, we are putting some value from the area itself. So you are putting, for example, number of workers in the area, or the population of the area, or the car ownership of the area. So you put one of these things in the or one or two parameters like this in the equation. It will give you how many trips are taken by transit. So it is very close to the very basic and simple approach which I explained at the start. Okay, but instead of taking a ratio that 10% people are going by the bus, we have a full equation. In the equation, you put one of these things. Okay, the land use intensity. Land use intensity means the size of the land use. The size of the land use, which I've already explained you earlier. Okay, so for houses, it may be number of houses. For residential, maybe number of houses. For a gas station, it may be number of fueling booths you have, and so on and so forth. Trip end models, the thing is, if you want to apply trip end models, then they should be applied before trip distribution. So you go to the trip generation table from where we started today, the trip generation table, and the number of trips you have from each area, you divide them into transit trips and car trips. Okay, so trip end models are applied to the data which you generate at the trip distribution stage. Okay, so mode choice model or the mode choice stage will come immediately after trip generation, then if you are applying a trip end model. Okay, then these models are not affected by travel time or any calibration factors, obviously, because travel time and calibration factors are used in trip distribution, and you are already dividing the trips into different modes before that. So once you come at the trip distribution stage, the trips are already divided into different modes, and then you are applying the travel time and socioeconomic factors. So trip end models, the values which are taken by the trip end models are not affected by travel time or socioeconomic calibration factors, the F and the K factor, the friction and the K factor. Then we have trip interchange models. Okay, we will do it tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, Ali Akil, Ali Salah, Iman Kamil. Ali Akil, Ali Salah, Iman Kamil. Ali Salah is here. Ali Akil, Iman Kamil. Pick up.
I'm here, doctor. Yes.
Okay, and Ali Akil. Asma Khalil, Zahra Sayyed, Nujus Salah. Asma Khalil, Zahra Sayyid. Okay, good. Tana Nasir, Nadine Hussam, Nur Yusuf. Nadine, Nur, Tana. Okay. Tana Isa, Arim Abdul Hamid, Zainab Muhammad. Isa, Zainab, Reem. Okay. Asil Adnan, Nadir Abdul Munim, Latifa Ahmad. Asil, Nadir, and Latifa Ahmad. Salma Jafar, Qasim Tahir, Badr Hossan. Okay, Badr is here. Salma Jafar, Qasim Tahir, Qasim is here, Salma is here. Fine. Muhammad Akbar, Ahmad Amin, Ibrahim Muhammad. Akbar is here. Ahmad Amin, Ibrahim Muhammad. Okay. Ahmad Amin is not here. Okay. Okay, thank you. We are done. See you inshallah tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.